Hello, Brian Herbst here with Fidel Tech Solutions, your trusted IT services and cybersecurity partner. Today I'm going to give you a quick tutorial on how to set up a new LastPass account securely. So to get started with LastPass, you'll have an invite come in from your administrator or IT company inviting you to LastPass, and the invitation will look like this in your email box. It'll be from LastPass. It'll show to you, and it'll be a LastPass account created. When you open up the email, it'll look something like this, and it'll list out your email address. It'll give you an alphanumeric activation code with a link to activate LastPass, and also show you who invited you. And then for future training and stuff, you can actually attend free training and get links to that at the base of the invite. Now, let's open up the LastPass link. So as we come in here and we go and we open up the invite link to LastPass to activate our account, you'll notice that it'll have your email address at the top. It'll ask for that activation code that was in the email. The activation code is a one-time code. It'll never have to be used again. It's just to validate so someone can't hijack your account while you're waiting to activate it from the invite. And then you'll need to set up your master password. Now, as you can see, there are minimum requirements to set it up, and it has a strength meter here, and it needs to be at least 12 characters long. I do recommend you make it at least 20 or longer, and you make it something that does not relate to any family members, nothing that can be found on social networks about you or the company. And it needs to be alphanumeric, have symbols, lower uppercase letters. So they do give you an example down here of a password. I do recommend you do something that you can remember that would be special to you but not hackable. And the key with the password vault is this larger 12 to 20 character password is really the only password you're going to have to remember. So, and I do recommend you document it and maybe even write it down and put it in a safe, like behind a padlock or something like that. So in a very safe place, like in a sealed envelope in a safe is not a bad idea. So if you ever forget it or something happens to you and someone else needs to gain access to it, they can in the case of an emergency. In generating the password, we're going to come in here and we're going to create a password as a master password for this account. And as you notice, I chose one that met all the minimum requirements. And then you need to confirm this password. What I do, and I copy and paste, I always delete the last character and manually type in the character. That way I know that they are the same. You can set a reminder, but in the next steps I'll show you why that really is not needed. Here we go, it's preparing our user account and encrypting it. So you'll go to log in to your new account. And once you're logged in, you can import items if and it can import in from your Google Chrome or other browsers as well, so you don't have to manually enter all those passwords for the first time. Now, once you're in LastPass here, the big key you want to do, the first step, is we want to go into here on the bottom left here, we want to go into our account settings. And most importantly, we want to scroll down and we want to set up our SMS account recovery. So if we ever do forget that master password, we have methods in order to recover this password. So we're going to update our phone here and we're going to add a phone number to the account. I'm just going to put in my cell phone here. And we'll hit send a test code. And we'll enter in our master password. Tell it we're not a robot. Put this one-time code that was texted to us in here. And as it tells you, it's verified our phone number for account recovery purposes. If we forget our master password, they can send a code to our phone to help us regain access to our account. We can always update this number at another time. So now we've created the backup. I always like to come in here, close this, and go back in just to make sure it's taken and shows in the interface correctly. We'll come in here to account settings. Scroll down, we have our recovery phone number. It's also important to make sure your time zone's set and all the basics. Now, the next thing, you can set a reminder for your password if you ever forget it, but that should be something that would trigger you to remember your password and not anyone be able to ever hack it. Now, if we come up here, we need to set up, the next step is to set up our multi-factor options. There's a lot of options available in here. We can, use standards like Duo and LastPass authenticators, Google authenticators, Microsoft, and etc. So for this purpose here, I'm going to just do a standard. I'm going to enable this Google authenticator. And you can permit it to work on or offline. It'll give you backup codes if you do that. And what we can do is we can view the barcode. Once again, it always has you, when you're doing these critical settings, type in your master password to verify your identity. Now we have the barcode we can use to set up a Google Authenticator OTP one-time password. So every time we go to log in, we not only type the LastPass password, but we type in our Google Authenticator code. And then we hit OK. And then once we've done that, we just hit Update. Again, put in our master password. And then it's going to want us to, on our phone, put in the verification code from our Google Authenticator one-time password. And we're all set up. It's verified us. It shows enabled now. So now every time we go to log in to LastPass or authenticate a browser extension, it's going to show or authenticate using our Google Authenticator. So those are the main settings we need to do that are critical. Set up one or more multi-authenticator options, and very important, set up our SMS account recovery. Now, if we come into advanced settings, there's some other options we can do if we want to. We can program LastPass to always request our master password in certain situations. Now, a lot of people just use the default access only when we're identifying ourselves, but we can also set it to every time we do a website password or open a secure phone or note or use a form fill, log into certain sites. We can also lock down LastPass to only allowed to be ran in certain countries. And that's, not a bad thing to set up. I recommend US and Canada to be set up. And then we just click this, and if you notice, it by default selected Canada, and I should have selected the United States as well. And then if you ever do go and travel, it's important to remember to log in and add the countries you're traveling to if you want to use your password vault out of country on your mobile phone, for instance. Now that we're in here, there's a few things to know on using LastPass. It enables you to securely save and organize all kinds of information, not just website passwords, but you can do your passwords, you can do secure notes, addresses, payment cards, bank accounts, etc. It also enables you to collaborate with team members using the sharing center. Now, if we come up here to the Google Chrome extensions, already been added. So if I come in here to extensions, you can see I found the LastPass free password extension and I've enabled it. Now you can find it by going into manage your extensions in Google, and if you don't have the extension, you just simply search for LastPass, and if it's not installed, it'll give you the option to add it as an extension. And then once it's added as an extension, you'll want to come into your extension plugins and pin it so it's always available in your browser. So once it's in the browser, it's real easy to save passwords as you're working. It's real easy to generate strong passwords. So you have this generator here where you can select the amount of characters, lowercase, lowercase, uppercase, numbers, random symbols. Some sites don't support symbols, so you can uncheck that box so the generate password does not include symbols in those unique cases. And then it enables you to copy it and or hit the refresh to get something different because you don't like what you're looking at. Through the extension, you can actually quickly gain access to your password vault and search for passwords. This is a brand new account. We don't have any passwords, so there's none in here at this time, but in the future there would be. I think that would be an easy one to do. We can come in here and I'll just give you an example on how easy it is to save a password. So we can do our demo at our and from here, you see there's a password field. They want 8 characters, case sensitive, no spaces, but we could come up here to our extension, come to generator, and we want to turn symbols on. We can leave it at 16. Some websites don't support high numbers of characters. Then we can copy that password. We'll hit create account. And if you notice, once this account it's been submitted to create an account, we have this add to LastPass pop-up. And this will do this on any new websites that you go to. And you can hit the edit button here to view the content, to verify that the username is correct, that the password is the one you pasted, and then if you've organized your passwords, you can place it in a folder or a team share folder at this time. You can turn on and off the autofill, log in automatically. I recommend that you turn off all the features with the top one. Then we hit add, and it'll save the password into your vault. Now, you notice we are at the staples.com website and our plugin shows a 1 next to it because we do have one password for this website in our vault. And so now if we log out of our new Staples website login and we go to login again, we can click our plugin, our little LastPass symbol to the right on the username here, select the user, and it will autofill the username and the password in for us. And we're going to uncheck this keep me signed in. And we're going to hit sign in. And now we're signed into our account. And we haven't set up any categories yet. So that Staples is under just a none all items because we haven't organized anything yet. Now what we can do is if you come down to this plus mark here in the all items, we can create a folder. And so we could put shopping, create a new or store, create a folder here. And then what we can do is click on the Staples widget, and under actions we can move it to Store. Now, if you notice, we only have the one folder, so it just shows store. But if you have a selection of, you have store, websites, and suppliers, or whatever you call it, banking and all the different categories, they'll show up in a list next to this move to folder. So now we've moved staples under the store area. Now you can do some organizing from the widget as well, and you can add items from here as well. So if you hit from the widget, if you hit plus, you can add passwords, addresses, payment types, and other items all from. And if you're doing other items, it's going to open a new LastPass window. And this is where you can hit more items and get all the predefined options. Now these options do appear for business accounts like this that I'm demoing, as well as the family accounts that you can set up for your family members that come with the business account. But it has these templates that are pretty cool to store all kinds of information securely for you and your family. And in a family situation, on a family account, you could put some of these items in a shared account with your significant other or spouse. You come down here to the advanced options. You can see you can set up credit monitoring is also included with your account. And this is also where you go if you want to import anything from the different browsers. If you've used browsers to save your password insecurely, you can import them, and then once they're imported, you could go back and delete them all. If you're on your mobile phone, you can always look for LastPass on your mobile phone, or you can always go to lastpass.com, and they do have a downloads area. On the bottom left, where you can download browser extensions to install in the browser. You don't want to go look for them for Chrome, Firefox, Edge, and Opera. You do this for Mac, which also includes Safari, and it's compatible with Linux on all major browsers in Linux. And then if you come here to the mobile phone, if you're on your Apple or Android device and you go to this downloads, it'll take you to the store where you can install it on your mobile device and then log in from there. From your mobile device, you can do two different things. You not only have the password vault, but you can use the LastPass multi-factor add-on as well. This is setting up a new account and using LastPass in a nutshell.